Hangout. It's obviously a day of talking to everyone who's interested in Vedica. We've had a really good day today. I don't know if some of you know that we had a radio show with DJ Chris this morning. I went in expecting a boy, but the program is called Good Morning Delhi. I'm not sure how many of you were on it. But the interesting thing is that in addition to being able to speak to people a little bit about the program, I think we've got 5 or 6 people who have called in, wanted to come to the campus, filled in their application forms. So in a way, it's a good day for Vedica, and I'm hoping that the conversation this evening will help some of you who are on this chat to make up your minds in terms of whether you want to, what you want to know about it, what you want to do, whether you're going to sign up, not, and how you want to engage with us. So I thought, you know, it's been a year, the program's been running, most of you are so smart, you have spoken to other scholars, you follow us on Facebook, so it's not like you don't know what we are doing at Vedica. But I thought I'll tell you a few things that have happened in the last month or 2 months that have gone one step ahead in terms of establishing the fact that we are living up to our promise on most fronts. So the first thing is that we had said we will have international alliances or certifications most definitely before we close the year. And while our international partnerships are under this discussion, and a couple of them will definitely come before we offer our certifications, the one thing that is already happening, and our first scholar to graduate with an operations course and a degree from happened today. Many of you may know what we have done is we have enrolled each of our scholars 2 programs offered by on Coursera. These are paid programs, so it's not like you can just sign up and then get the certification. So one, we have the fees for every scholar. The second thing is that the dropout rate on Coursera is 97%. Now, how can I ensure that people who are at Vedica are not a part of that 97% and are actually a part of that small 3% that join a program and are able to go through it and therefore get the certification? So we have got some very smart people who are helping our scholars go through these online courses, answering their queries, helping them understand what is not clear, and then helping them go through the certification so that they can complete the course. So there are 2 programs. One is called the Foundations of Business from Wharton, and the other is a course in business analytics. So, so that kicked off a month and a half ago. And like I said, one of our scholars, the first of our scholars, actually got a certification yesterday. The second thing is that even as we contemplate and strengthen our program here, we have launched an undergraduate program, and there is a very well-known, reputed college in the US called Agnes Scott. We have tied up with them, and 10 scholars will go as a part of Vedica, will go to Agnes Scott for an undergraduate degree. So this is the beginning of Vedica spreading from undergraduate, from postgraduate to undergraduate, and hopefully in some years we will be a full-fledged university. It's an interesting program because we've managed to get a 40% discount for these students on the fee that they would otherwise have to pay. And because we want them to stay in touch with India, the 2 different things we are doing is, one, there is a course in contemporary India that what we are calling Vedica Scotties will have the opportunity to attend. And the second thing is that we will facilitate for them to come back and intern in India through the summers if they should choose. Because a lot of people don't want to go away abroad right after school because they feel disconnected. And the third thing is one of the most unique features of the Vedica Scholars Program for Women, which is our Shadow a Woman CEO program. We are absolutely delighted. We have 36 scholars in this batch, and we have roughly 50 CEO mentors who have signed up. The program is hugely popular. People see the value and are very excited to actually work very closely with a Vedica scholar. Our first Vedica scholar has already been offered a job by her mentor. So what we had hoped would be a happy byproduct is actually already coming true. So the assured placements also look very real, and the Shadow a Woman CEO program will kick off on the 1st of August. And for 1 month, our scholars will shadow a woman leader and come back not only with work experience, but also with very, very close association with a very senior woman leader. The preparation for that program is actually quite serious. We are putting our scholars through a fair amount of rigor, one in terms of time with their mentors, not the CEO mentors, but their 12-month, 18-month program mentors in terms of interview skills and presentation, so that they are at their best by the time they go on the Shadow a Woman CEO program. I'm going to be introducing them to more people who went with me on the Shadow a Woman CEO program in the US on how to make the most of your internship. We have briefed the mentors on how they should make the most of the time that these scholars are with them. So we think we're going to have an absolutely fantastic start to the Shadow a Woman CEO program in August. Other than that, the programs have been going well. It's a very busy, we've had some very busy semesters. The girls are starting to get ready for the Shadow a Woman CEO. And once they come back, the placement service will start in earnest. One of my older colleagues who's always been associated with Vedica from the outside has now come on board full time, and she's going to be responsible for program development, but most importantly for career development. So we've got, we are preparing what we call a handbook, the annual handbook, which is going to have profiles of each of our students. So it has their resume, but it also has something called My Story. What is it that is about you that conveys your best to a potential employer? So that handbook is underway, and from next month onwards, mock interviews, pre-placement talks, and specific industry sectors and functions that our scholars are interested in, all of that work is started, and the placements will kick off in earnest from next month. So the other thing is the admissions process. We are actually quite delighted. We kicked off last year in April. We are now on the 10th of May, sorry, 11th of May. Last year at this time, I think we had 30 or 40 applications. In the whole year last year, we had 285 or 290 applications, and we had the start of class. This year, we are already at 285 applications. So obviously, we're excited, and we hope that we will have a very strong and good class to kick off the new semester, the new batch. We are expecting a class of roughly 60 people. And we hope that the Vedica brand and the Vedica scholars' profiles will only go from strength to strength. Our founding batch has been absolutely outstanding in this process. Lots of them have been ambassadors already, and I think of the offers, our class is about 30% full now, maybe a little bit more than 30%. And I think 75% of those who have paid their fees and secured their seats have come through one of our founding batch members or through someone they know. So I'm hoping that we are doing something right to get our scholars to help the program and help us grow. And that's sort of where we are. I'll be happy to take questions if there are any. I have some that have already come in.
Hi, Anuradha.
Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah. So one of the questions that I've already got here is, will this program be helpful for people who want to initiate their own business? You know, a lot of our mentors are entrepreneurs. We have a course in entrepreneurship that is taught, and during the course of the year, a number of our guest lectures are from people who have their own businesses. We have organized either meetups or events where our students can meet people who are successful entrepreneurs, run startups and things like that. So I think to that extent, as much as before starting, what you can learn before starting, To that extent, I think Vedica is a great place for you to get the confidence and the courage that it takes to become an entrepreneur. So, so I think while there are some places which will maybe allow you to specialize in entrepreneurship, we give you enough courses and exposure to people who actually run their businesses to be able to become an entrepreneur. You know so there's one question before I could have gone back to, I was going to start with one of the other questions that was already there, but I have a question on, is managing personal finance back on offer? I believe it was dropped from the founding batch. You know, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our philosophy at Vedica and how we respond to our students. While I recognize that students can sometimes be very unreasonable in the kind of things that they say and do, we try and respect the opinion of everyone who's on this program as far as possible. The person we had teaching the personal finance course was, a lot of our scholars felt was not great, and so we discontinued that program, not because the personal finance course is off the track. We've now got 2 other people, and I have to figure out a time because the Wharton courses are on right now, and we have an absolutely jam-packed schedule till the Shadow a Woman CEO is done. Once the girls come back from that program, we will complete the managing personal finance track for them. It's a program, it's a course that I personally feel very committed to. And I think it is very important for our students to get a sense of understanding money and understanding the importance of managing your money as you go out into the world. So definitely that course will be back, and it has not been discontinued. The teacher was discontinued. I have a question on whether we offer specializations and whether we offer a degree. In India, degrees are only offered by university. Vedica is not a university. We run this program in partnership with the Aurobindo Center Society in Delhi. We also have now, like I said, these certificates that are being offered by Wharton, and as we get into partnerships with international universities, they will also endorse the certificate. But what we will award at the end of the 18 months is a postgraduate certificate in management practice and leadership. What I do want to mention, and I'm saying this for the nth time, is that lots of very prestigious management programs in India actually don't offer degrees. Till very recently, the IIMs didn't offer a degree, and even till today, the management program on which we feel we have based at least some of our philosophy, which is the Indian School of Business, is not a university and doesn't offer a degree. But the fact that its students are the most sought after, the fact that it can charge 25 lakhs for a 1-year program, I think speaks volumes for the fact that it is really the content and the placements that you can offer at the end of it that determine what students should look for when they are picking a program. The second thing is that we don't offer specializations. Part of it is based on the fact that when you talk to employers, they think that they in any case have to help students unlearn some of the things that they have learned, and students don't come in knowing everything that they need to in terms of the details of a role. So employer after employer, and in my own experience as an employer as well, I feel that when people have the right attitude, and when people have the right amount of energy, and when people have a basic grounding in management practice, the rest is up to us to teach. So we are going to equip Vedica scholars with the things that we believe are important for a 21st century professional, and not necessary specializations, because those can be picked up along the way. Same question again about AICTE UGC approved. We are not UGC approved. We are not looking for UGC approval. In the near future, we don't expect to be awarding degrees, because in India, if you want to award a degree, you cannot be innovative. You have to follow the rules that the UGC has set, which means, sorry and pardon me for being provocative, but you have to continue to offer substandard education to be able to conform to their rules. So I couldn't do an 18-month program. I couldn't have done 4 courses. I couldn't work with visiting faculty. I would have had to break all of these things and not offer them if I wanted to be UGC approved. So very deliberately, based on the experience that we've had, my co-founder at Vedica, Pramod Sinha, who's the founding dean of the Indian School of Business, has the experience of having launched ISB, not getting UGC approval, going from success to success year after year, being in the top 20 FT business schools ranking, and all of this is without being UGC approved. So we are very deliberate about it. When we launched the Young India Fellowship, which is now a part of Ashoka, but for the first 4 years flourished without being a part of a university or being able to award a degree. So Vedica is very much modeled on the principles that we have learned that serve our students, that will serve our employers, and therefore right now we are not looking for UGC approval at all. Somebody wants to know, Ankita wants to know what the average package in the placements provided by Vedica will be. Listen, it depends on whether you have work experience or not. Are you a fresh graduate? What kind of job you want? So if you want to be in the development sector, it will be a salary keeping in the with the market salaries of a development sector job. If you're going to join the private sector, then it will be in keeping with what fresh roles from a good management institute get you in a private sector job. But if you, without conditionalities, if you graduate from Vedica and you don't have much work experience, or you're a fresh graduate and you want to go into the corporate sector, I think you could expect a package between somewhere in the 6.5, 7.5 lakh range quite happily. But obviously there will be people who will get 12 lakhs and 11 lakhs, and there will be some people who will get 3.5 and 4 lakhs, depending on the choices they make. People keep asking us what are the parameters on which we select applicants and why we are not using a standardized test. You know, Vedica was launched to solve existing problems in the admissions process and the access that bright young people don't get to an education that they deserve. I feel that if we keep holding people back to their historical performance, there will never be second chances. We have enough confidence in ourselves to know that if somebody has potential, if somebody has hunger, if somebody has the right attitude for a career, then we can do the rest for them. So frankly, we do look at marks enough to know that you need to be able to grasp what we are teaching you. But it's not to judge whether you are bright or stupid. All I need to know is that you have an interest in academic rigor and the aptitude that is enough to be able to understand and cope with the course. So we do judge academics up to that point, but not beyond that. What we look for in a candidate is broadly an academic record that will allow them to receive what we teach at the program. The second thing we look for is how do you conduct yourself in the personal interview. The third thing we look for is, are you going to be committed to a career, or are you going to do a course and then decide sometime in your life whether you want to work or not? At Vedica, that's a complete no-no. Any young woman who is not 100% sure that she wants a full-time career should actually go elsewhere. You know, on this radio show in the morning today, I was telling people that every young woman I meet wants equality. I'm sorry, without being responsible like the boys are for themselves, I don't think you can demand equality. I don't know any boys who chuck up jobs because they don't like their boss. Most people's fathers and brothers don't have that luxury, or husbands. So I don't see why women should have the luxury of choosing whether to work or not. So at Vedica, the philosophy is very, very clear. If you're not committed to being a full-time career woman going forward, then you really should be looking at other options. So that is a very important third criteria. The fourth criteria that we look at is, are you going to be able to benefit from the course? You know, we would love to have young women with big dreams on our program, but we have to see whether you will be able to benefit from the program. That's the fourth criteria. And the fifth one is your general awareness. Do you read? Will you be able to comprehend? What are your extracurriculars like? Do you have any other interests? And how are there any demonstrated leadership qualities in you that will stand to benefit you as you go forward? So it is a mix of subjective and objective criteria. Looking at the founding class, I think these criteria work brilliantly. So I'm hoping that they will serve us well for the second batch as well. Yeah, I get some very nervous questions about the faculty members being full-time. Guys, we have to be I'm very, very proud of what we are creating. The feedback that we get from our faculty, from our students, from our scholars' parents, from people on our governing council. We have every reason to feel very proud. That doesn't mean we feel that we are anywhere close to being enough or that we don't have a long way to go. Now, the thing with full-time faculty is, how can I, as a new program in India, hope to attract the best that there is on offer in the world to chuck up what they do and come back and teach students at Vedica? It's not going to be possible. So the choice is to find whoever we have to come and teach full-time at Vedica, or say, you know what, I can curate this program and give our scholars the benefit of the best that the world has to offer. And only because we are completely comfortable, and I think it's a great strength that the team at Vedica has, because we have done this in the past with previous programs. Pramath has done that at the ISB. He and his team did that at the Young India Fellowship. We're now doing that at Vedica. That we are able to get people from across the board. We've got our faculty is from the top management institutions in India and from overseas. We have liberal arts faculty from all over. Our communications faculty is international in large part, and the personal growth faculty as well. So I feel that the visiting faculty model really serves us much better than getting full-time faculty, and that's the reason that we are following that model. When we're a big university, one day we will probably have more permanent faculty, but I think we will always follow the model of good visiting faculty to give our students the best that the world has to offer. Somebody wants to know, Ankita, after this webinar, what are the steps one should go through to get admitted? I don't know, have you filled in an application form? Oh, sorry, you are not going to be able to answer, right? Oh, sorry.
She can type.
Okay. Okay. So if you have filled in your application form, then we will pull it out, and I will set up an interview with you. And after that, it's only 2 or 3 days. I tell people in every interview we conduct that the one thing I feel really good about is that I don't judge, and all of us at Vedica don't judge one person against another. This has nothing to do with other people in the world. This has to do with you and your best self. And this has to do with you and what a Vedica scholar hopes to stand for. So the moment we finish the interview, we have a small process with the team, and within 2 to 3 days of meeting us, you will hear back from us, and then you have roughly 10 days to accept or not accept the offer. Someone wants to know whether there'll be a shuttle service provided between the hostel and campus. Answer is yes. Right, there is a question around scholarships. So we will award some scholarships. The first thing is that there is a 30% tuition waiver for anyone who makes it to the program. It's called the Vedica Bursary. So that everybody is entitled to. Beyond that, all scholarship requests will be dealt with towards the end of June. Anyone who wants to secure their seat after they are made an offer needs to pay the security deposit. If you tell us that I'm accepting the offer, but if I don't get a scholarship, I cannot join, and you specify to us the amount, the minimum amount of scholarship you would need, then we are more than happy to tell you that, listen, your security deposit we will refund if we can't give you the scholarship. The scholarship decisions are based on a combination of factors. There is merit, there is need, there is diversity, and there is the makeup of the class, what kind of people we want. So let me give you an example. If I have a person from a tier 3 city in a state that is not represented on our program, and that profile is identical to someone who is urban, Delhi, whatever, and I have to choose between the two, then it's likely to go to somebody who's not represented on our program. So that's the, but those decisions will all be taken only towards the end of June. So if you want to secure your position, you have to pay us the security deposit, and we have no desire to keep your money if you're not going to be a part of the course, so we will refund that to you, provided when you pay that fee, you tell us that if I don't get X amount of scholarship, I will not be able to join the program. You should know that we have assured placements. Most placements will give you the money that will cover your fees in 1 year, or at best a year and 2 or 3 months. We have organized loans for everybody who gets into the program. So I would actually urge everybody to be a little bit more courageous about their lives and what a program like this can do for you and your future, as you think about the financial implications of this program. Unfortunately, in India, we are all brought up believing that somebody else should pay for our education. Unfortunately, that's not the way the world is going. And as jobs become more lucrative and as you become more capable of earning for yourself, I think for a postgraduate program, you should be willing to pay for yourself as well. So we are very, very competitively priced. When we set about, when we started setting our fees, we looked at the top MBA schools and we said, you know what, in the first couple of years, we don't want our fees to be a reason for someone to chuck up a program that we believe is actually better than many of the other programs on offer. So we have actually priced our program very competitively. And because it's 18 months, not only do you not pay for 2 years, you pay only for 18 months, and the last 6 months actually become an earning opportunity for you. There are internships available through the program. Any scholar who tells us, listen, I won't let my grades suffer, but I'll take on a job that can earn me 10,000 bucks a month because I can sustain myself. We encourage that kind of enterprise and that kind of self-sufficiency amongst our scholars. Is the fees to be submitted monthly or yearly? Neither. It's actually quarterly, is it? I think over the 18 months, there are 4 installments. So you have to pay every few months. When will the next batch start? The next batch will start on the 23rd of July. So we will have 1 week of an overlap with the older students. And I must tell you that we thought very hard about whether we should do 18 months and then the new batch joins only in December when the previous batch graduates. But you know, a lot of people who run one-year program tell us that the biggest disadvantage of a one-year program is that there is no overlap and therefore there's no sense of alumni and senior batches. So there's no overlap between. So with that in mind, we decided that we must have a 6-month overlap between the new batch and the previous batch so that there is a sense of bonding and a sense of continuity on the program in between our students. So we start on the 23rd of July. Is there a forum to interact with the rest of the scholars who have been accepted? I think some enterprising young scholar has offered to set that up. Oh, we've set it up. Oh, sorry, my enterprising team has set it up. So they're telling me not to take away their credit, guys. So, so there is a forum that is set up for those who have already been accepted, and you can get some of those questions answered there. Industry linkages and job placements and university studies. You know, this is easy. I think when you get faculty which is visiting from all over, you develop relationships with them. A bunch of the people who've taught are in other universities abroad. And I think that's the starting point to get counsel on if you want to study overseas after that. Our previous experience shows that some people do want to do that. And we will help with recommendations. We will help with introductions into other universities, both with admissions people and with faculty. So that is not tough to do. And in terms of industry linkages and jobs, I mean, I've explained this a bunch of times before. So the Shadow a Woman CEO, guest lectures, Industry 101. All of this adds up to industry linkages. But most importantly, the media company that I run actually works with C-level executives across the country. Chief financial officers, chief executive officers, chief information officers, chief security officers, chief human resource officers. We would probably work with the top 2,000 companies across the country for these functions. So anyone who's looking for a specific industry or a specific introduction just has to ask. Any more questions?
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Sorry? Someone's saying something?
Yes. I'll just type it.
I can't. Is that Avantika?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you. You'll have to type. You find, so what we do with mentors is we already have a group of 12 mentors. We're going to get some more. In the first 10 days of being at the program, you will let us know your preferences in terms of mentors. And then we match people based on their preferences to the mentors that we have on the list. So it will happen within the first month of being on the program. And also young people often have really good ideas. So our scholars have come up with ideas for CEO mentors. We've written to them. All of them have signed up. For our senior men mentors as well, we have some ideas or at least requests for specific industries and a certain kind of profile. We went and found those people. So that process has actually worked very well. How are these 18-month mentors also CEOs? They are not also CEOs. They're actually CEOs and they're also mentors. So every month they take out half an hour for their mentee for a face-to-face meeting, and most of them mentor 2 or 3 of our scholars. So they pick a day, their secretary will coordinate with the mentees, and they go and spend half an hour each face-to-face, and then often they will either have lunch or something with their mentor. But these people are essentially senior corporate executives or CEOs and also mentor at Vedica.
Hello.
There was someone, I can't see that question, but I do remember being told that there was a question from someone who apparently felt that the infrastructure at Vedica was not up to the mark. I just wanted to tell you all that, you know, we ran the Young India Fellowship, one of the most successful postgraduate programs that this country has seen now, out of this very campus. And what we want to offer at Vedica is, you know, technology can help, but this is not about technology. So everything that we need to be able to deliver what we hope Vedica will do for our scholars, we have provided for. As we grow, as we become bigger, I'm sure the infrastructure will be bigger and better. But you know what? People who are looking for state-of-the-art infrastructure need to go to another place, because I think Vedica is much more about the content, the format, the effort that we put into each and every scholar in making them who we believe they should become. I have very, very high expectations for the lives that our scholars will lead. Not in terms of worldly success, that too, but that's not what it's about. It's about you being able to become who you want to become. And that requires many more things. A lot of it has to do with us feeling the right way for you, willing to put in the effort that it takes to give you the exposure that you need for that change. The infrastructure becomes the easiest part. So the amount of thought and effort that goes into assessing each scholar at frequent intervals to see what is it that they require. Sometimes it is academic support, sometimes it is confidence, sometimes it is emotional support, sometimes it is something as simple as language support. But that's the kind of effort that we hope will more than substitute for some of the state-of-the-art infrastructure that is not on the Delhi campus yet, but in the heart of the city, I think what it offers more than makes up for what it doesn't. Are there other summer, autumn, winter internships included in the curriculum apart from the shadow a CEO internship? This is it. There's a 1 month module which substitutes for the 2 month work, what do you call it? Work experience that you would do in another program. So this is a 1 month module which combines women's leadership along with work experience. Internships, yes, we do, because we keep getting requests from all kinds of companies and all kinds of organizations to help, to ask whether our scholars would be happy to work with them, help them work on a project. So at any given point in time, there are a few internships that are afloat. Lots of scholars also get their own internship. All they need to do is keep us informed. But when we get internships, we post them on an internal portal, and that's how people are made to figure it out. Right. Is there any sort of career counseling that I can expect, or am I expected to already have? Okay, so the question is there any sort of career counseling that I can expect from Vedica, or am I expected to already have clarity on the field? Not at all. And some people come in confused, and either they have clarity or greater confusion. Some people come with clarity and are confused because of the kind of exposure they get. The world just opens up, and you give yourself the opportunity to think much bigger, much wider, and much higher than you probably did before you come to the program. So we are constantly available for career counseling. Your mentors are constantly available for career counseling. The guest lecturers and the people who come as faculty, especially the business faculty, is more than ready to give you that kind of counseling. And we have a career development person on site. So I think between those, if anything, you will feel probably an overdose of guidance on what you should do or what might work for you. You are definitely not expected to come with full clarity. If you have it, that's great. But if you don't, it absolutely doesn't matter. That's how the majority come.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello. Hello. What the hell?
Honey, I think you'll have to type. You have to type. We can't hear you.
Hello. 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 Hello, Fatika. Hello, Fatika. You not hear me? Hello. What the hell? Not work. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I've sent the query on mail. Can you please just read it and answer the query to me?
Somebody is trying to talk, and I think they're being unable to type. So I guess we'll have to just skip that question. Any other questions? Nupur is asking me whether your previous work experience will affect the placements if you change your field. I don't think so, Nupur. I think a lot of people, after they have worked for a while, come and do another degree or a management program, largely because they want to explore another. So I think the only thing that it might affect is that if you want to change field so drastically that your previous work experience has nothing to do with your new field, then you may not have the advantage of seniority. But other than that, I think absolutely not. I think any kind of work experience adds to the overall profile that you bring to that table. And we will work hard with each of our students to ensure that they get the best placement that they deserve. Ankita is asking that she comes from a medical background and isn't aware of management stuff. So will this come in the way because she doesn't have that exposure? Listen, most people coming to us have no exposure to management before. There are people coming from literature. There are people coming from, obviously, from engineering. There's lots of people. 60% of the founding batch was engineers. So I think the whole purpose of this program is to be able to expose you to management practice. You're not expected to know that when you come. But I think if you feel particularly deficient because you've never focused on anything to do with companies or corporate India or organizations or work outside of being a doctor or an allied medical field, then I would recommend that, you know, if you do decide to apply and you get into Vedica, then between now and July, I would just expect that you do a little bit more reading so that when you come to class, it doesn't sound like dream. But that's about it. I don't think you have anything to be disadvantaged because you don't come from a management background. Okay. Anyone else has any questions? Okay. Anyone else? Avantika's? Oh, sorry, someone is typing. Okay. Anyway, you all know that my email ID is anuradha.mathur@vedikascholars.com. I'm sure you've heard from the admissions team, so you know what the contact details are. If any of you have questions, I can also give you my phone number. It's 9999 919133. I'll repeat that. It's 9999 919133. So if you have any concerns, any questions, any clarifications, any reassurances, please feel free to call me and I'd be more than happy to talk to you. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for making the time. I hope I'll hear from some of you and some of you will be in the next batch. Bye-bye.